for it. Thank you. All right, hi, folks. It's JT Siskowski for Status Coup. We are here outside of the Broadview, Illinois ICE facility. It's about a block here behind me. You can see these concrete barriers with people on either side of them here on this street. This is Beach Street in the village of Broadview, and these concrete barriers are erected as protest areas, is what they're called on some of the flashing signage around here, or free speech areas, as some of the protesters have taken to calling them, which of course has the ironic implication that wanting to express yourself anywhere else your First Amendment right is not guaranteed anywhere else on these American streets or sidewalks. I was told that shortly before we arrived here that protesters were actually up against, there's a fence, an illegal fence that ICE erected across this street. Folks were up at that fence protesting because ICE is conducting a lot of its operations here in the Chicagoland area out of this facility. They were up against that fence protesting, exercising their First Amendment rights, and then the state police stepped in and moved folks back with batons back to behind these concrete barriers. And since then, it's really just been a staring contest between these protesters, some of the state police, and then the ICE agents beyond that we have seen inside the facility. The occasional yelling being thrown back and forth, but there's a new dynamic here at play here tonight. Two things. First of all is that earlier today, federal authorities shot a woman in the Brighton neighborhood in Chicago. It is about a half-hour's drive from here, about 9 miles, just southwest of Chicago's downtown. We were live out there earlier today. You can see this is getting an animated reaction from the crowd. These vehicles, it's really anytime authorities come into view or really try to take advantage of the street, that's when the crowd starts to come alive again. But really, otherwise, the crowd remains mostly silent, content to do the odd chant every once in a while, or to hold their signs, shout things at the ICE agents beyond. But folks are certainly prepared out here for more than that if need be. Many have gas masks or respirators. Many have goggles. Many are taking care to cover their faces in the manner that we've seen ICE agents do. Because earlier today in that Brighton neighborhood, federal authorities shot a woman. They DHS had put out a statement at the time sort of describing a series of events where they claimed that their vehicle was a group of agents were out on a patrol, and then they were boxed in by 10 cars, and then somebody in one of those cars, a woman, had a semi-automatic weapon, and so agents fired and hit her. And then what they claimed at the time was that she drove herself to the hospital. We have since learned that that is not the case, or at least those facts are in dispute, because a spokesperson for the Chicago Fire Department came out and said that that woman was actually found at 39th Street and then was taken to the hospital. So already some cracks emerging in the federal narrative of what happened with that shooting. You can hear the crowd right now chanting, "Who do you serve? Who do you protect?" That is directed at the Illinois State Police and local police who are out here doing crowd management and generally just keeping an eye on things. A lot of that consternation is built around the fact that they feel that these authorities are collaborating with ICE by offering them this crowd control that keeps these streets open to the ICE facility. It allows ICE to continue to go on its patrols, and just that fact of keeping this street open allows ICE to operate, and therefore could be violating state law that actually prevents local law enforcement from aiding ICE in certain ways and under most circumstances. So that was the shooting was the first different dynamic that we had on display, or that we had transpire here today. The second is that the National Guard, 300 members of the National Guard, are going to be nationalized and sent here to help ICE in its operation. This is called Operation Midway Blitz. It was announced several weeks ago, where authorities are doing these broad sweeps of Chicago neighborhoods and surrounding communities as well. We have seen this. We have seen them engage in profiling. Just a few days ago, it was on rampant display in downtown Chicago this past Sunday, and they have continued to use those tactics because they are endorsed by the United States Supreme Court. Just based on the way you look, you can be swept up. When we were down in the Brighton neighborhood earlier, we interviewed one woman who said that the Brighton neighborhood, which has a large Hispanic population, a large Mexican population, she said a lot of the folks, a lot of her friends, neighbors in that area are afraid to come out in what was once quite a vibrant community, one that had a lot of life in it. She said that now now is usually a time when there's quite a bit of celebration in the community, but they're not seeing that. Very few people are actually coming out right now. They're afraid to speak Spanish because they are afraid that that in and of itself will be enough for them to garner the attention of ICE, which has been disappearing people and taking people through. We're going to see another sheriff's vehicle come through on these streets here in just a second with its lights flashing. This is likely to get another reaction from the crowd. And really what we're watching for here is if authorities are going to escalate the situation at all. Last Saturday, you might recall, we were out here on this exact same street where ICE actually came out and tear gassed the crowd. We saw that again today in the Brighton neighborhood where a group had come out, where quite a few people had come out to protest the federal response to that shooting. And ICE, as it was departing, ICE and the other federal authorities, as they were departing, popped tear gas, throwing them out the windows of moving cars into the street. They were tear gassing Chicago police officers right alongside everyday citizens. Everybody was getting tear gas sent running. They were setting off flashbangs. One went off just a few feet from us. There were tear gas canisters that we saw tossed onto people's yards, and were filling up people's porches with tear gas. A lot of people reduced to screaming from the discomfort that was caused by that force that was on display. So that's why we're out here tonight, to monitor to see, will ICE employ those same tactics? We saw them on display again yesterday morning when a different entrance to this ICE facility. It's got two entrances. You see this approach here on Beach Street. Then there's this is the southern approach. There's also one from the east along Harvard Street. That's where protesters were out yesterday morning, and we saw ICE come out, and even though state police had that crowd had cleared the street, state police had that crowd under control. And those protesters were peaceful. Many of them were just there doing a prayer circle, singing songs. We still saw ICE come out and forcibly throw people to the ground and arrest them. So that's sort of some of the things that we're starting to keep an eye out for tonight. We started a ways back just to give you a lay of the scene. We'll start to work our way now into the crowd a little bit, and we'll probably hear from some of the voices of the folks who are in here protesting right now. So you can kind of get the sense of the jovial atmosphere. There's music. We just saw some people dancing. Everybody's peaceably protesting here within the designated free speech zones here. So long as they remain behind the concrete barriers, they don't get harassed. We saw some folks who had stepped out beyond this barrier earlier, just standing there holding signs and the like, and they ended up getting approached by police. I've been told, if you hear some of that music in the back, I've been told by some of the protesters that they feel that music is a more expressive way for them to make themselves known and to get their true emotion across than just shouting slogans or holding up a sign. Status Coup, or an online independent outlet. Would you guys mind if I interviewed you about why you wanted to be out here tonight? Questions that you're hoping to give?
Not me, thank you.
That's fine. I'm alright.
No, either, but I do like y'all's channel, so it's immediate.
Get back to bother you again. No, you're fine. Hope, unless I forget your face, but then just tell me. I'm a reporter of Status Coup, or an online independent progressive outlet. Interviewing folks about why they wanted to be out here tonight, the message they were hoping to deliver. mind if I interviewed you? Asked you those questions?
Sure.
Yeah?
Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
What are your names?
Cynthia.
Cynthia?
Jalen.
Jalen?
Jalen.
Dest.
And what was it?
Dest.
Dest. All right. Yeah, can we turn? So this is my cameraman, John. You guys could turn and look at him, and then I'll ask some of the questions here. All right. So these are some of the demonstrators that we're seeing who are coming out here tonight. I'll just have you guys go down and introduce yourselves, just like you did to me off camera. Give me those names again.
Cynthia.
Cynthia.
Dest.
Dest.
Jaden.
Jaden. All right. So the first thing I wanted to ask is that noise that you're hearing is another car passing, another police car passing that's getting that reaction from the crowd. So what made you guys want to be out here tonight? Why did you feel compelled to be here?
Well, for me, seeing people in the community, you're just seeing ICE everywhere. It's putting people in fear. People who are just hardworking, trying to go to work, make money for their families. They're too scared to go out. And it's really sad to see. It feels like this isn't a community anymore. It feels like we're just militarized. There's no freedom. You can't have freedom of speech. They're just discriminating against people. They're making it legal for people to discriminate off their color of their skin. And if they hear you speaking Spanish, and that's not okay. And that's not freedom. That's not what this country was made for. They didn't fight for this. They did not fight for this. This is not part of our freedoms. And these are people who are hardworking, not criminals, people who are contributing to this country, who are providing money for this country, pay their taxes. They say that they're not paying taxes. They do pay taxes. ICE is working with the IRS to get information on immigrants. So that just disproves their argument. So that's what I'm fighting for, and that's why I'm here.
We're stronger together. There is safety in numbers. This is wrong. It's a constitutional right to protest. We're here together, and we want people to know that even though these are scary and unpredictable times, that we have to keep showing up. The system wants us to be debilitated. They don't want us to get out of bed and be able to go about our day. But we're going to keep getting up and keep resisting. And we're here for the people who are detained here at the ICE facility today. That's what really compelled me, and the many people who are being arrested and harassed around Chicago and around the nation and around the suburbs. People should not be unjustly housed without due process. And it's sickening, and we're going to keep showing up in any way that we can.
Jaden, what would you add to that?
For me, it's just growing up here the entire time. I've been here literally since I was like a baby.
When you say here, what community are you representing?
I grew up in Broadview. This is literally my hometown. Just seeing all this break down, I hate to see it happen to my hometown, because this is a nice, beautiful community. We love each other, help each other, enjoy events for each other. It breaks my heart to see. So if we all come together, I know we could do something about this.
I have follow-ups for all of you based on your answers. We're hearing the crowd right now yell, "Shame on you, shame on you." That's just as police officers make their way past. They're gaining a lot of the. They're getting a lot of the.
Breaking news: a federal judge stopped Trump's order for the National Guard in Portland.
Oh, that's interesting. So yeah, we're just hearing the breaking news coming out right now that a federal judge has put a halt on Trump's executive order or federalization of the National Guard in Portland, which is interesting because he is attempting to do the same thing here in Chicago. So I was going to ask you guys, maybe this opens it up. We'll get back to some of those questions I had in just a moment. But I mean, I was going to ask you all the same about your feelings about the National Guard. We've heard 300 troops going to be federalized here in Chicago. Your reactions to that news, how are you guys feeling about it?
I mean, it just adds to the fear in the communities. People who right now, people are mentioning that it's kind of going back to COVID times. People are going to get scared to leave their homes. People are going to lose their jobs because of this, especially with all the federalized troops. And they're going over, basically threatening to withhold funding from Chicago if they don't bend down to the rules of the president. And it's like negotiating, It's like negotiating something that shouldn't be negotiated, and it feels like it's an infringement on our rights.
Emphasis there saying that it adds to the fear. Well, the justification that we have heard is that this greater ICE presence, this greater federal presence, now troops, is all about safety, is all about security. But what we're hearing in this interview and in so many others that we have done, near unanimous here in Chicago, is that this federal presence makes people less safe. And we have already seen at least 2 people now shot, 1 killed by ICE officers, another is in the hospital right now. So again, I apologize, I just felt like that was a point worth emphasizing. But Dest, your reaction to hearing that news of like the federal the National Guard might soon be deployed here in the Chicago area?
Utterly disgusted. Our tax dollars fund all of this, whether it's the state, federal, or the local level. So we have no true say in any of these expenditures. The president at will can choose to put out the National Guard, which is supposed to be something that, the governor of a state says, we want you, we need you, we don't need them. Our governor, Pritzker, is saying that we don't need that. But in general, disgusting. You do not brutalize people, kill people, and use force. That's just not how things should be. And, again, this is all funded by us. At the end of the day, these people's monies aren't going into it. So it really is upsetting, very angering. And we have to keep showing up.
And when she references that all of this is funded by us, meaning us, the taxpayers, it's not just the fact that the National Guard is going to be deployed and they will have salaries and equipment and all the expenses that come along with this, but even this scene that we are seeing right here, the fact that somebody had to move these concrete barriers into place to dampen the First Amendment rights of people here in Broadview, that has an expense. We're spending money to limit people's rights, to imprison people here in this facility, but we can't have money to actually fund and improve our communities. We saw just this week.
Quite the opposite. Right.
Quite the opposite. Yeah.
It's very intentional. It's by design. It's eugenics frameworks. People being separated from one another and people thinking that they're better than. And this has been an ideology that's been since the 1900s, 1800s, and it's continued today. We have to stop these people who are also humans. Why would humans kill another human? You're killing yourself.
Jaden, I should also give you the in here to talk about that feeling that you got when you heard the National Guard. I mean, you said, this is my home, that you're seeing all of this, and now you might see troops on the street of your hometown. How does it make you feel?
Shoot, me personally, it makes me feel more scared because I don't know if any of y'all heard the apartment complex on 75th got raided. We had literal babies on the street, zip tied, butt naked, and now you add more troops and more guns to it. You're just gonna add the chance of someone else getting killed even higher. I don't even know how you logically come to the conclusion that's the answer. So for me, it just breaks my heart to see. And we just gotta keep coming out, showing out, and do what we gotta do, and push on.
And Jaden there is making reference to a raid on an apartment building in the South Shore neighborhood where folks were hauled out in the middle of the night, zip-tied, as you said. Some folks were wearing nothing at all. Children were a part of this operation, and yes, they ended up detaining that entire apartment building until they made many arrests, etc., etc. You had referenced that feeling of not being safe, just to be, here. You talked about profiling. Do you feel any of that fear yourself? What I'm kind of struck by is you talk about fear, and then you feel you're still here. I mean, talk to me about that push and pull, the battle between the fear and also needing to be heard.
Definitely. They say, and especially my community, friends and family, just hearing everybody's stories online as well about how people have stopped going outside and, being in fear of their family members being taken away. But it also, at the same time, you have to stand up for people, especially if you are in a position where you are able to use your privilege. If you are a citizen, national-born citizen, use your rights to stand up for your families, your friends who are too scared to come outside, So that's where it feels like that need to come out, because there are people who might want to say something, but they're too scared. They don't want to come out, and that's understandable, People are scared to come outside, people who might be undocumented, even people who are documented, who just by the color of their skin don't want to go outside. And it's like, if you have the able privilege to, black, white, brown, anybody just to come out. You need to make your voice heard, and it feels like I want to be the voice for the people in my community, for the people in my family, and that's kind of where that comes from. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Jaden, you talked about, again, I keep coming back to this idea that, like, this is your home. Broadview is your home. You've already clearly expressed it doesn't need this, and it doesn't need troops. What does it need? I mean, is it healthcare? Is it education? What investments from the federal government would actually help your hometown?
Sure. Most definitely, like, healthcare, education, because, like, we just need to find money into, like, the future for the kids of the next generation.
I'm going to cut you off real quick just to let the noise pass. That's the county sheriff's vehicle that we've seen go by several times. Again, when those police vehicles come by, they get it gets quite the animated reaction from the crowd because of that feeling of collaboration between local law enforcement and the federal authorities who are operating out here. But I apologize, Jaden. You had just started to talk about the need for health care, and you were maybe going to list some other things.
Yeah, so the need for health care, education, free lunches for kids, like, these are programs and things that we need for our kids of the next future generation, because if we don't feed the next future generation, what future do they really have? What chance do they have? We just going to keep crippling them? They're going to just be in a worse state than what we already are. It got to start at some point, you know what I'm saying?
I've kept the three of you from protesting for long enough. I'll turn you back to what you came here to do. But before I do, I got to ask, is there anything I haven't asked that I should have? Any point that you guys want to make while you have this platform before I let you go? Or anything about your personal experiences that I wouldn't necessarily know to ask about that you think would be relevant in an interview like this?
Definitely just using your voice wherever you can, even if you can't come to a protest. Sharing your voice online, sharing resources online, resources for healthcare, resources for mental health, for support groups, for people who, they're with that fear, like I mentioned earlier. There are people coming together to now buy groceries for undocumented immigrants or buy their medical supplies, any necessities. So if you're able to help in that way, that matters so much too, even if it's just in a one-on-one level, that makes a difference, and that's really important.
And I'm going to jump on that answer to say, please also share our stream. If you can't be here, you're engaging through independent media right now. Like, subscribe to us. It helps keep us here on the ground. You'll get more of our reporting, and if you can support us for $5 a month, it helps us afford hotel rooms. It helps us afford transportation to get around to these things, to be able to lift up these stories of and show what protesters are actually doing here on the ground, how they are peaceably protesting, how it doesn't really escalate beyond shouts, beyond chants. Even though we see the narrative from the Trump administration, from right-wing politicians right now being like, oh, these are mobs, this is dangerous escalation out here in the streets that needs this militarized response. If you're following us, you know that's not the case. Apologize for stepping on your answer like that. But, so Des, anything else that you would want to add?
We're not alone. We're all together in this. We're going to keep showing up. We're going to keep doing what we got to do. And anybody who's directly affected, who's undocumented, just know that we see you, we're with you, and that we're going to keep showing up.
And Jaden?
So keep your spirit up, set your heart ablaze, and free Palestine.
Thank you all. Appreciate it. I'll let you get back to it. Let's go. So there you go. That's three voices. That's just three voices in this crowd of more than 100 that have been out here tonight. We're kind of walking back here to kind of give you again that kind of sweeping view of what it's like out here in Broadview, and give you a sense for what it's like actually here on the ground. Because if you're just looking at what the Department of Homeland Security is putting out, what ICE is putting out, I mean, they are producing real propaganda. We've seen them out here with camera teams videotaping themselves tackling protesters, escalating the situation here needlessly, and using it all just as an excuse to get in front of the camera, and then cutting it together with music, turning it almost into a music hype video for an authoritarian takeover of Chicago and other communities. So out here you see we've got some state troopers standing amongst the crowd here at the intersection of Lexington and Beach.
ass nigga, he a 69 God. Freaky ass nigga, he a 69 God. Hey, 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 run for your life. Hey, 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 run for your life. Say OVO, OVO, say OVO, OVO. This step this way, step that way, this step this way, step that way. There.
All right, JT will be right back. He's speaking to somebody right now, making some connections. Smash that like button, share this live stream.
What's up, Chicago? Look at this mess out here. Wait a minute, I thought these are streets. Whose streets? Our 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 streets. The killer cops put a disgusting barrier right here on our streets.
We're so dangerous.
You know, look, guy. Oh, you recording me? You are? You recording me? Oh, you got real. The guy last night didn't have a good. He didn't have a real camera. He had a hand-me-down camera. So I want to make sure you got the right camera, right? So make sure you get my good side. You know, I got all your sides. You got my side. All right. First and foremost, why we are here is because you have served yourself to the devil.
Hey.
You sold your soul to the devil.
I'm going to let you listen in here on what this man, the speaker, is saying to the other protesters and the police.
They don't stand with us. They don't protect us. Who protects us? 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 If we don't get it, 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 racist system, racist system, Delora system, racist system, fascist system, murder system, terrorist system, capitalist system, colonist system, White House system, Earth space system, Earth space system, Congress system, disgusting system, this racist system, this racist system, this racist system, this disgusting system, and we're gonna get it, and we're gonna get it, and then we're gonna get it, and then we're gonna get it, and then we're gonna get it, if they don't get it, if they don't get it, we are here to stand with our familia. And that's right about my job is to stand in these streets to demand the end of deportation and the end of occupation. Because these are our streets. Whose streets? Whose streets? Whose streets? Whose streets? Whose streets? Whose streets? If we don't get it, if you don't get it, if they don't get it, if you don't get it, if you don't get it, did you see the disgusting J.B. Presser did? He said, oh, protesters, come on out here and exercise your right to protest.
Exactly. Exactly. That's what we're doing.
But guess what he did in the same breath? He he brought these disgusting killer cops up in our city to protect killer cops, to protect fascist regimes, to protect pedophiles, ICE agents. You know who you protect? Who you protect? Who you serve? Who you protect? 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 And this the thing. Did you all see any ICE agents in handcuffs? Because they're responsible for pedophiles raping those children in those detention centers. Did you see anybody in handcuffs? You want to talk about law and order? You haven't arrested none of those ICE agents that have been responsible for raping those children in those detention centers. Protecting pedophiles. You know what this is all about? Y'all know what it's all about? He don't want to bring up Epstein files. That's what this is all about. He wants to cover up the disgusting display of what he's responsible for. And I gotta give one little credit to this old guy that we know as Charlie Clark.
Charlie Clark.
He was murdered because he advocated to put out the Epstein files. Is that correct?
Yep.
And then he said put the Epstein files out, and next thing you know he's murdered. Next thing you know he's been capped off. Next thing you know, America is always going to be America that took you out.
Sorry, man.
That's why we're saying this is nothing but a distraction to have these families be the scapegoat of this dumb, stupid, orange-faced, racist, fascist regime.
Excuse me, man.
If we don't get it, 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 if we don't get it,
What's your name, man?
Dion Miguel.
Dion Miguel?
Dion Miguel.
Miguel. Nice to meet you.
his name is
JT.
Isaac.
All right, so I'm standing here with Dion McGill. Dion, so when we put your name beneath you on the screen, can you spell it for us so we get it right?
Yep, Dion, D-I-O-N-M-C, capital G-I-L-L.
All right, I've been starting every interview with the same question, which is, why did you feel compelled to be out here tonight?
Just out here standing in solidarity, you know. I mean, everyone should be out here, in my opinion, right? We're standing against what's been happening with the ICE agents and these just abductions across the city. I mean, now across the state, right? Like, and yeah, I mean, we're fighting tyranny here, unfortunately, right? I was reminded today that this is not the first time we've seen this, right? Internment camps are in America's history, you know, and you know, I'm from the south side of Chicago. Kicking in doors and pulling people out their beds is in the history of Chicago Police Department. It's in the history of our city. But we should all be standing whenever this occurs. And so I'm just out here standing in solidarity with people who are being endangered. We're all being endangered, but especially those who are being impacted directly. You know, and I feel like it's the least I can do.
Yeah, you're drawing some historical connections to trying to find some precedent for this moment. One moment or one aspect of this that might lack precedent. I mean, I guess aside from when LBJ nationalized the National Guard in Selma, Alabama, was J.B. Pritzker has expressed that he does not want the National Guard deployed here in Chicago. Trump's going to do it anyway. When you heard that news, what was your reaction?
I'm actually a veteran. I was in the Illinois Army National Guard for 9 years. It's disgusting. We don't need militarization of our streets. Of the many things we need, we don't need ICE in our streets, right? I can name a million things we need: resources, money. None of it has to do with officers. None of it has to do with anything with a badge or a gun. We don't need more violence in our city, right? And being brought by the federal government. Like, I was actually at an event in the 40th Ward today, community defense workshop, and we all learned about this National Guard deployment while we were, there. I was with, a group of folks, and it's, I mean, the only word I can really think is disgusting, but it's just another step in this, this reign of terror that he's trying to bring in Illinois with his, vindictiveness and pettiness, and this reign of terror he's trying to bring to Chicago, and we have to stand against it. You know what I'm saying? Every twist and turn, everybody. And so, kind of going back to what we just talked about, that's why I'm here. Lend my voice, lend my face, lend my body to stand for people who may not be able to stand for themselves in this moment, or people who are afraid to. And we have people across the city who are afraid to leave their homes. And so, I can leave my home, and if I come here and have to put my body on the line to defend my neighbors, be my brothers and sisters keeper, to me, that's a small price to pay. So I'm here for it.
I want to ask about that history that you have with the National Guard, that perspective. Does that background, I mean, do you see a mission for the National Guard that is warranted here in the city of Chicago? Like, is the National Guard prepared to deal with a moment like this in the way that Trump is attempting to use them?
No, absolutely not. I don't think so. When I was in the National Guard, we following Hurricane Katrina, we patrolled New Orleans streets. If you remember, after the hurricane, everyone left, including first responders, and we were, the safety there. That is what the National Guard should be doing, right? In moments of great disaster, to help uplift, empower, protect Americans if necessary. Not coming to bring further fear and violence and terror. What are they? No. I mean, I can't imagine. What are they going to do? They're going to help ICE? Are they going to, what? They're going to come and beat up protesters? Like, what are they going to do? You know what I'm saying? And I think very exceptionally, we're talking about a voluntary military force that now has to look their neighbors in the face and take action against them. That's a lot to ask. And that's, it's, I don't have an answer. I don't have a conclusion. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad that I'm not in that situation. I know that, we're hearing this constant discussion about these National Guardsmen saying no, right? But it's very easy to ask someone to put their life on the line and maybe do some time in jail, you know what I'm saying, versus doing what they're told to do. And I get it. It's very complicated. There's no clear answers, but the clearest answer is they shouldn't be mobilized. They shouldn't be here. And there shouldn't be political pawns in Trump's game. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is really what this all is. At the end of the day, this is some kind of weird freaking game that the President of the United States is playing with people's lives.
And it's almost unfair to ask you to game out a hypothetical. But if you had been given this order, if you were still in the National Guard and told, hey, you're one of the 300 who's going to be mobilized into Chicago streets, what would be going through your mind? How would you feel about that mission?
How do I hang out at sick call for like a month? I don't know, but I got to go to sick. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I'm injured today, and tomorrow's my arm, tomorrow's my leg. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I have friends who are in the National Guard today, and, this is a real question that we're all going to have to tackle with what we expect from our neighbors, because they are still our neighbors, and what we expect from ourselves. And me, if I was in that situation, they used to call, those guys sick call Rangers. Oh man, I pulled my groin. I gotta stay home. I mean, that's real. That would probably be my real. I gotta go home.
So if your city, if your community here in the Chicago area, if it doesn't need the National Guard, it doesn't need ICE deployment, all of this expenditure of resource, what does it need? Where could this money go? How could it help actually serve you, your neighbors, your family?
Come on, man. I'm sorry, I'm not laughing. Yeah. I'm a former school teacher. Schools, mental health, alternative response to the police, because Chicago has a real problem in our Chicago Police Department, right? physical health. I can think of a million things, right? We actually have a alternative Chicago care teams, right? They're so lowly funded. It's only in parts of the city and only for a certain number of hours, dealing with mental health response. How about we fully fund that program? And I can think of a million other programs. My community doesn't have a medical center. I live in Inglewood of any kind. You know what I'm saying? We don't have a mental health facility of any kind. Like, bro, I can think of a million things to do with that money.
Yeah. So if you took that money, if you took the money that was here in Broadview, maintaining the security presence here, maintaining this facility here that everyone is out here protesting, took that and you turned it into even one mental health facility, even one community care facility, the good that it could do in people's lives versus the bad is what you're saying, right?
CPS right now is talking about like our windfall, or the money that we need. The city is talking about the money they need. Like, it's a comical question because I literally, if we sat down together, I could come up with at least 50 things, right?
50 ideas, 50 better uses for this money off the top of your head.
At least 50. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, I don't even know how much money is being spent here. But we got ISP out here. Broadview keeps coming through. And you got those ICE agents. You got that building. I mean, come on now. This is ridiculous. And I keep saying, right, and this needs to be said more, this is unsustainable. And it's untenable, right? Whether these people are out here every single night, we can't do this for the next 3 years. And when they come out here cracking people's heads every single night, we can't do this for the next 3 years. So the reality is this. Pritzker needs to be doing something. All the elected officials that are impacted, both in Broadview and the city, need to be doing something. We should all be out here together and like bring out a card table and let them figure out what we're going to do. But we need some real strong responses, not just talk. Not just like, oh yeah, go out there and do your First Amendment rights while they shoot tear gas and pepper balls at you and then come back out and do it tomorrow. Like, it's unfortunate,
We've seen the role that Illinois State Police have played, that Broadview City Police have played in a lot in crowd management. We've seen them shove and arrest protesters as well. I mean, do you want that? We've also heard, under Illinois state law, they're not supposed to be aiding ICE anyway. Do you see this as aiding ICE, and do you want leaders to take away the police presence? It's a difficult question, but I put it to you.
I was saying to someone earlier that perception is reality, right? And to the protesters, they are perceiving the state police and Broadview as aiding ICE. And that's a problem. If that's reality, it doesn't really matter. Because when they go home, they saying that some state police officer pushed me down, shoved me, maybe arrested me. When I arrived here, I saw 4 or 5 protesters. When they pushed everyone away from the fence and they cleared the street, protesters were arrested. And they were arrested by ISP. So when those people, if they're released, come back out and they go home tonight, what are they going to tell their friends? Right? That's reality. I don't know. But I'm imagining that if Broadview is out here and the state police out here, they're out here to protect the protesters when ICE acts outside the bounds of the law, which we've seen. Right? Whether they're shooting pepper balls or flashbangs, unprovoked, protesters were standing in the street chanting peaceful protest. And you come out and start pushing them and shoving them. Like, that's not right,
So last question that I want to ask you on is what is this really about? We see all of this unnecessary pain inflicted on Chicago. Nearly everyone that we've talked to unanimously says, I feel less safe because ICE is out here in the community. I'll feel less safe if the National Guard are in the streets as well. Why then go through all this? They say that it's about safety. Do you see an alternative motive? And if so, what is it?
I think, and I don't know what kind of reporting ultimately you do. There needs to be far more context drawn on the fact that not only is this happening in Chicago, it's happening in other places. And you start to hear that argument that when you look at where this is happening, it tend to be blue states with black mayors. And there is something real to that, right? Let's just keep it simple. We know Trump has, let's say, some undercurrent of racism in his actions and behaviors, right? And he's also very vindictive, right? He obviously doesn't like Pritzker because Pritzker has refused to bow down and kiss the ring. He obviously doesn't like Brandon Johnson, because I will use, like, as my grandfather would use that old school term, he's uppity, right? He's not going to bow down and kiss the ring. And so he's brought these people to try to whip us into submission. And the one thing we know about Chicago don't get whipped into submission, right? That's reality. In the end, we will, we will yell, we will scream, we'll do it in a manner that's nonviolent, as these people are. But we'll I mean, if we have to come out here every day, we will, right? But it's I hate to say it's silly or stupid, but this is not about safety. Taking, when these people are being abducted, right? They're being abducted on their ways to work. They're being abducted at work. They're being abducted at schools. You know what? I grew up on the south side of Chicago. I've met some hardcore criminals in my day. I can't remember the last one that had like a 9-to-5 job and was going to school. It's stupid. It's frustrating, and this has nothing to do about safety.
Appreciate that, Dion. Last question is there anything that I should have asked you that I haven't? Anything I haven't given you the opportunity to say that you would like to? Anything about your personal experience that you think would be relevant to an interview like this that I wouldn't necessarily know to tease out?
Just a heads up. In the city of Chicago, I'm what they call a police district counselor, which is an elected position dealing with public safety and police accountability. I represent the 7th Police District. Other than that, silence is not an option to what's happening right now. Look at this. Unfortunately, we have a lot of people in positions of influence and power who are keeping their mouth shut. And to me, that's inexcusable, right? You have to say something. I prefer you say, I approve of what's happening here. Let's keep it rolling. At least we know where you stand. But silence is just inexcusable. And other than that, we all need to stand up for each other. In a dark period like this, we have to be our brothers and sisters' keeper. And so that's it.
Dean, thank you very much. I really appreciate it, man. Enjoy the rest of your protest. Yeah. So there you go. I'm just going to take a moment. A valuable voice here. A former member of the Illinois National Guard talking about how this is how the Illinois National Guard being deployed on Chicago streets would be an inappropriate use of their resources, of their training. And you can hear all of this outpouring of emotion out here in this crowd. Protesting, if you're just joining us or have just joined us recently, we are in Broadview, Illinois. This is Beach Street. It is along this street, about a block down, as the camera pans here over to the left, down there, that bright light where you see that is just across the street from the ICE detention facility, the ICE facility here in Broadview, Illinois, from where ICE is basing many of its operations here in the Chicagoland area. We've been talking to protesters who are out here tonight, showing you what the message is that they have to get out there, because this is not something that you are hearing very much on mainstream media. We have been out here for over a week. We are the only independent outlet who has been on the ground here in Chicago for more than a week, lifting up the voices of these protesters, explaining exactly what is explaining what they have to say, why they're resistant to this Trump administration's occupation of their city and the pain that they are causing. If you are able to, please subscribe. It's $5 a month to support our on-the-ground work. It is not cheap for us to stay in hotels. It is not cheap for us to afford the gas, to afford the plane tickets, to continue to live, to eat, to be here right now, lifting up these voices where a lot of media is not. If you can support us, we are eternally grateful. You'll keep us here on the ground doing this important work. So yes, just resetting here for a moment. As I said, we're here, Broadview, Illinois. Today we've seen, here in the Chicago area, we've seen two big developments. The first is that Chicago saw another person shot by federal agents operating here in the city under the pretext of Operation Midway Blitz, which is ICE's ramping up of operations here in Chicago and the surrounding area, which is, they claim, a crackdown on crime and meant to improve the safety of the community. But as you hear from person after person after person that we talk to, they feel less safe. They would much rather this money, everything that's going in here, these police officers that you see guarding here, them spending their time doing it, all of these blockades, that are meant to corral people into these very particular parts of the street and limit their free speech to only designated areas. And you can hear there that we're being told that we're not allowed to stand in the road. We have to move to one side or the other because protest not allowed on a public street. Only allowed in designated protest zones out here. The protesters have taken to calling them free speech zones, which implies that free speech is not allowed in other areas out here in Broadview. And you see now a little bit of a confrontation. A little bit of a march now developing. Protesters now marching down Lexington Street. This is the first real organized move that we've seen from these protesters here today. Them reasserting themselves here on the streets of Broadview. It's likely that they're going to move around the corner to the other approach to the ICE facility. Yep. It's likely that they're going to make their way around the corner to the other approach to this ICE facility. It's that other approach on Harvard, on Harvard Street, where ICE has actually been moving many of their vehicles in and out of the facility. The Beach Street approach, where we just were, allows the protesters to get closer to the building than the Harvard side. But this will bring them more in line, or in closer proximity to actual ICE officers going out on missions or returning from them, allowing and there has been, I've heard, frustration expressed among the protesters that in that last zone where they just were, they don't feel that their voices are able to be actually heard when they're corralled behind those concrete barriers, and they aren't able to actually disrupt ICE's operations in any meaningful way. Now chanting, whose streets, and whose city, our city. Now they're turning away from the ICE facility, marching more towards the interstate.
In my back again.
Yeah. This is the scene in Broadview, Illinois, where protesters who had gathered outside the Broadview ICE facility have now taken to the streets on a march that is taking them away from the ICE facility. Oh, but now there's a little bit of a conflict here. Part of the group wants to go back towards the facility. Some of the group is continuing on its march. Coming there down. Marching towards the interstate. Now more protesters joining the march away from the ICE facility. Yep. honks of approval from passing cars.
That's ice. Not the ice. No. Oh no, state.
Protesters seem content here to occupy what is an interchange, an exit ramp to Interstate 290, building up some traffic.
They expected us to go that way.
We're peaceful! We're peaceful protest!
Whole street!
Our street!
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 While the protest is quite a bit more disruptive here,
Hey, y'all want to go back there? All right, now we can go back there.
crowd's going to turn around and march back towards the ICE facility. Police threatening arrest for people who won't get out of the road.
Get out of the road! 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 Get out of the road. The grass is right here.
Saw there Illinois State Police threatening arrest for whoever would not get out of the roadway.
Get out of. You are in the road. This is pavement. That is road. Get out of the road.
I'm going to show the line.
Showing the lineup here of looks to be Illinois State police officers with batons here to block the road to be sure that protesters do not re-enter the road and reassert control if need be. A lot of the protesters making their way back, though, towards the original designated protest area. Police are preparing to sweep the street.
All right, they're telling the cops to get off the road.
Yep. Shouting at the police. The protesters are now shouting at police, telling them to get out of the road, that they are, in effect, doing the same thing the protesters were just doing. Now the police advancing, shouting, "Get back, get back."
Back up! Back up! Back up!
All right. This is an unlawful assembly. This is an unlawful assembly. You are being warned right now. If you do not disperse and get off the streets, you will be subject to arrest. Unlawful assembly. You are blocking a thoroughfare. Get off the road, or I will arrest you all. Get out of the road. Get out of the road. If you get in the road, I will arrest you. Get out of the road. Troopers. Troopers. Push them this way off that. Push them onto the sidewalk.
Officers are going to start to push people back down Lexington towards the original protest area.
Who you protect? Who you protect? Who you protect?
Who do you serve?
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 Who you protect?
Police arresting somebody.
Back! Out of the grass! Back! Back!
Yeah, they arrested. Police arrested the man who had been leading the protest, who had been leading the march away from the ICE facility.
He's in a public street right now. You get your knee off his neck. He has no life in his eyes.
Yep, they've got him up. Got him up. They've got him moving.
You're fucking animals.
Gestapo! Gestapo! Gestapo!
You guys are fucking Nazis. You have to live with that every day.
Gestapo!
For the rest of your life.
Gestapo!
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 Give him his phone. Give him
State police are leading him towards a sheriff's van.
How do you sleep at night? How do you sleep at night protecting people who are kidnapping children off the streets, out of their homes in the middle of the night? How do you live with yourself? Come here. Get off the street! Rights to express our rights! What is wrong with you? You are state officers. You're supposed to be here for us. We are people of the state. How are you not embarrassed of yourselves?
Does this feel right? You're protecting us. We live here every day. Masked up guys in unmarked cars. That's your protection. Ruining Broadview.
Please help us. Please help us. They have innocent people locked up in there with children.
You guys are supposed to be on our side. You're supposed to march with us. How about it? It doesn't have to be this way.
ICE has 3 things against them from the bottom.
So there's about 100 demonstrators were out today. Now you're seeing them.
To block traffic on major thoroughfares.
You moved him over here and then you arrested him.
We are not going to allow you to block traffic on major thoroughfares like 25th.
But you went after him.
Sidewalk and go back to the protest area or go home.
Why did you target him though? Why him?
It's a free speech area. The whole country's free speech. Exactly.
Why did you target him? Out of all the people that went out there.
Oink, 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 oink.
When your family members see this on the news and recognize you, they're going to be so disgusted.
I got all your fucking pictures. I got all your pictures. That's getting blasted everywhere, you fucks. All your pictures everywhere. You're not ICE. You can't cover your face.
You moved him.
You're going to be blasted everywhere. Everyone's going to know your address. Everyone's going to know your history. We're going to know exactly where the fuck you live. How would you feel if your children got zip tied?
They kidnapped
Live on the street with one eye open, fuck. Sleep with one eye open.
You care about blocking the street.
Sleep with an eye
You care
open.
that they kidnap people out of their homes at night. And there's no
Priority.
How do you live with yourself? How do you live with yourself? Blocking the street. ICE has been blocking Beach Street for a fucking week. And there is legal work going now against them. They are blocking the street for a week. And you arrest people that are blocking the street? The hypocrisy is fucking insane. Yeah. You are protecting them. You're not. You know what you're doing is wrong. You're saying you're keeping us safe. You are keeping ICE safe. Because if you were, you would actually remove that fence so that police officers and so that firefighters could go through Beach Street. But you haven't taken down the fence. But you blocked other people doing traffic. Oh my God.
You're blocking traffic.
You're blocking traffic. You're blocking traffic. You're blocking traffic. You're blocking traffic.
This is the new protest scene now at the intersection of Lexington and 25th Avenue in Broadview, Illinois, about a block away from the ICE facility after protesters tried to lead a march away from the facility and down some public streets. They were confronted by Illinois State Police, who then forcibly marched them back this way, arrested the man who was leading that protest, or leading that march, and now are holding the line here, which is about a block away from the original protest location.
You are just as guilty.
You are selling your soul. You are selling your humanity. And you know it.
I can see it on your feelings.
Shame on you. 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 Shame on you.
Shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you.
There's more of you. I think that there are of us, for Christ's sake. I noticed you should have traffic. I thought that was an issue.
Why do you protect us?
We stole the numbers. You are meant to serve and protect us. You tired? Protecting kidnappers and said that will stay in your soul forever. You can't wash that off. You sold your soul. You sold your humanity. What's your badge number?
We had been hearing from more and more protesters recently a frustration with Illinois State Police supporting ICE by enforcing these protest zones, by keeping protesters corralled into very tight areas. And you see here where protesters attempted to move anywhere outside of just a couple of designated small areas, the force in which police met them with. Using batons to force them back, arresting one man, the man who was leading a march away from the ICE processing facility. And now it's really... And now this seems to be the new scene of the protest. The protesters changing their attention from ICE to Illinois State Police.
I know. That, the white one with the mustache is like, you can tell he's like... Yeah, you can tell, like, you can tell a lot of them know this isn't right. But he's like especially... Oh. This one has some self-loathing.
The guy with the glasses is definitely ready to go.
I'm taking back. We know you're...
Yep. State police are now on a bullhorn. They're announcing that this is an unlawful assembly.
This is an unlawful assembly, and if you remain here, you're subject to arrest. We will arrest you. You are free to leave, but you are not free to stay. You're welcome to go back to the designated protest area or disperse on your own. But you are being advised, the Illinois State Police, we will arrest you for an unlawful assembly. This is now a public safety issue. It's a danger to the public, yourselves, and others. Disperse immediately. This is your warning.
I'm not sure if it was able to come through the microphone there, but police are saying that those who do not leave, they're saying this is an unlawful assembly, those who don't leave this area will be arrested.
I can't really claim to be press when I'm being this antagonistic, but I'll stand next to the press guys. That'll be a little bit more, a little bit more credence to the fact that I'm a quote-unquote independent journalist.
This is the Illinois State Police.
We know.
This has become an unlawful assembly.
There's no such thing.
You are endangering public safety by shutting down a major thoroughfare. If you do not disperse, you face arrest. Disperse immediately. Go back to the identified area. You are free to leave. You are not free to stay here. Walk. Move.
We are! Damn, so can I cross that way or no? Right. I thought we weren't allowed.
You can see the lineup of state police out here.
Big stick, little dick.
It extends a good portion of the way here down Lexington Street back towards the ICE facility here in Broadview, Illinois. So a lot of the protesters are leaving the area. Now they're changing their line, beginning to move folks backwards. Yep, police are now forming a line from one building to another across from each other along Lexington Street, likely to try and funnel the remaining protesters back towards the designated protest areas at the intersection of Lexington and Beach Streets. And you see Illinois State Police there now advancing, protesters moving backwards, which aside from the occasional shouted message back towards the police, they are moving without issue. Curb.
Please slow down.
Officers slowing down a little bit.
We are.
But continuing to advance.
Moron! There's no such thing as a fucking protest area. We live in America.
You guys like the Second Amendment? What about
gonna trip over that rock.
Oh, boulder.
Yep.
Shift.
It's okay.
Telephone pole. Fire hydrant. Just a little bit. There you go.
You're right. Good call. I had to keep pulling her back.
We're not allowed to be on a public sidewalk? Doesn't that make you question what you're doing at all? You were the one blocking the street, you assholes!
Put your microphone. Put your microphone.
This is public property. You can't stop people from going to their vehicles.
Come on, man. It's fucking ridiculous.
Wouldn't it be a beautiful world if you guys were marching?
I'm with the wrong
us
group.
Like this?
You're with the wrong group, buddy.
You guys are marching with us right now.
Helps if you turn
All of
around
this is going to be remembered. All of this.
Have a nice day, sir.
They're going to come after you too next. You're next.
Officers now holding their position.
I'm just going to 7-Eleven, bro. Where do you guys want us?
Who's in charge? You seem confused. Does somebody actually know what's going
We
on?
have an area over there. Where do you guys want us? Hey, you kind of look like a young Ronnie Coleman.
Dress it up. Back to the area right here. That's not a designated protest area.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of that term before? Does that sound like a real term to you? What is a designated protest area?
Keep moving or you will be arrested. Our tent. Since this operation began, we have seen
Protesters now chanting peaceful protest, peaceful protest over and over again back at the police, who are forcing them back into these designated protest areas, which are corralled by concrete barriers. We've seen a lot of
Let's take a couple steps up first.
Just do what's right, guys. ICE is fucking kidnapping.
I've seen a lot of protesters take exception with those, take issue with those protest areas.
70% of those detained do not have a criminal record by ICE, guys. Is that something you would do? 70%. I am not making that up. 70% of those that ICE is detaining do not have a criminal record. The rest, 30%, it's traffic violations half the fucking time.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
We just want you guys to march with us next time. Maybe you'll think about it, huh? They're fucking wrong. They're in our fucking city. They're in our fucking state being fucking disgusting, illegal, violent towards us.
Throwing tear gas in the middle of the street, causing elderly people to go to the hospital.
Think about it. We're not all just fucking...
In front of a fucking daycare.
Not
I was
everyone.
there yesterday. Does
Not
that sound
everyone over
legal to
here
you?
just says like kill yourself and all that. They're pissed off. I get it, but most of us just want you guys to fucking understand our side and be with us. Because there's no way none of you guys don't know people and your friends and neighbors that have not been taken. Correct?
Police moving now to block Beach Street, which intersects with Lexington, trying to corral these protesters back in towards the ICE facility.
Is this what you guys signed up for?
Are we in the designated area? Where are we supposed to be?
Yeah, tell us where the free speech is allowed. Does it start here?
Where's the free speech zone, boys?
We didn't block the street. You guys did.
Where's the Christy Nome free speech zone?
Christy Nome's a fucking bimbo. Listening to a stupid ass bimbo bitch.
And a pedophile.
Supposed to be protecting us.
Yeah, the police have completely surrounded the protesters on two sides, but because of the way the buildings are set up down here and the illegal fence that ICE has erected across Beach Street, these protesters are effectively corralled, and us along with them. There's not a way out of here right now if folks wanted to leave. If looking around here, just to reset the scene, if you just joined us, this is Broadview, Illinois. This is the United States of America. Police have completely surrounded protesters, people who were protesting ICE's operations here in the city, and now we see that some of the police are actually clearing away along Beach Street here behind the camera. They are starting to move away and open up one of these streets, so now there is an exit for these protesters. But these protesters came out here to demonstrate against the occupation of their communities by federal law enforcement, and they're being met with this from state law enforcement after they attempted a march out onto some of the main thoroughfares here in Broadview. They were pushed. They were threatened with arrest. One man who was leading that march was arrested. And now this is what we're seeing. We're seeing a standoff here between the protesters and police. The police have their batons out. The protesters are now going back to playing music, dancing a little bit, going back to their chants. It's important to note here that Governor Pritzker claimed that police would not assist ICE in their operations. In fact, it's largely against the state law here in Illinois for them to do so. And yet now we see state police are calling protests unlawful and threatening. Oh, hearing another message from police.
You are authorized to protest in the identified protest area. You are not authorized to block roadways. If you would like and choose to do so, go to the identified protest areas of which you've been occupying all night long. You are also free to leave, but you are not free to block a roadway. This is your warning to occupy the identified protest areas. This is signs to identify where they are located. If you do not occupy those locations and continue to block the road, you will be subjected to arrest. You are also free.
Fucking criminal record! 70%! 30% that do have a record, it's traffic fucking violations and shit. Be on our fucking side, sir!
How many of you have domestic violence charges?
I didn't say that.
Trick question. It's all of them.
I didn't say that. I have police in the family. I didn't fucking say that. You guys are still in the fucking wrong being like this.
They have no reason to arrest us.
What are the orders from Governor Pritzker? I don't understand. It's confusing for us that you're against us. Why can't you answer my question, sir? It's a reasonable question. I'm being respectful to you, sir. You can be respectful back. You are not free to block the roadway.
Our presence is protected by the First Amendment of the Constitution. This is an unlawful assembly. You are blocking a roadway. You have an identified protest area that you can occupy. You're being ordered to occupy the protest area or leave the vicinity and get out of the street or you will be arrested. This is your last warning. If you remain in the street and do not occupy the protest area or vacate the area, you will be arrested.
Protesters are being told to get out of the street or they will be arrested. They're being told to return to designated protest areas that are these areas that if you've been watching with us now for the last couple of hours, you'll be familiar with these concrete barriers that protesters have been corralled into. They've taken pretty good exception to that.
I mean, this is so dumb because now we're like facing off. This isn't even why we're here to protest. Make it so we can.
Protesters here have been asking about how
You've already blocked a major thoroughfare and threatened emergency assistance to citizens potentially in need.
There's like
It is unlawful to block a roadway. You've identified and been identified as staging areas to protest lawfully. You are not in that area, and you are blocking the roadway. You'll be arrested. This is your final warning. The Illinois State Police, we will arrest you if you do not get out of the roadway right now.
we're now making our way back over to the side here. Police are threatening to arrest these protesters who remain in the street. Many have made their way back onto the side of the road now. Only a handful remain in the street.
Would you mind a portrait?
I'm sure.
It's a portrait.
Get out of the street. Get out of the street. Now.
Being told to get out of the street by police.
Way to go. Policing protesters. Nice job. Johnny's going to be proud. We used to, listen carefully, we used to protect you guys.
Last week there was
It will be in the history books. Know that. Sleep with that.
State police are not supposed to be helping ICE. And J.B. Pritzker, the Illinois governor, has spoken out against all of the ICE operations here in the state of Illinois. We've seen local leaders insist that they don't want these ICE operations, and yet Illinois State Police right now we're seeing now the police are starting to sweep the street. Yep.
Go into your designated areas. Back up.
There's a
Back up. Because people aren't moving. People move. You can move back.
But you're gonna arrest me anyway, right? The people behind me.
We've stopped.
Can't move further backwards.
Here we are. We're stopped. Here we are. Just everybody stop, but nobody's moving. That's the problem.
Maybe because this is illegal.
It's not.
Where the fuck are we supposed to move?
Our streets! Our streets! Our streets! Our streets! Our streets! Our streets! Fucking knocked over like an 80-year-old fucking door talking to her. She's literally 79. Medical attention. Where she is right now, running away.
We for a second, guys, now you're literally fucking Nazi collaborators. They are literally, I'm not making this up. Sit down. It's going to be difficult to hear. They're kidnapping people with no access to lawyers or judges.
70% have no women at the speaker. They like
See what side you guys are on.
Fucking dork wearing sunglasses at night.
I wear my
Dork.
Talk a little too much last night?
If you value this on-the-ground reporting, being able to see what it looks like here on the ground in Broadview, Illinois. Please consider supporting us. We have been on the ground here for more than a week, showing how these protesters are trying to resist the Trump administration and its crackdown here on their communities, as Operation Midway Blitz is in full swing, where the Department of Homeland Security and ICE are arresting people, tearing apart families. If you value that, $5 a month, please. It helps keep us on the ground here. Helps allow us to continue to do this very important work. And if you're going to support us, please go to StatusCoup.com/join. That's StatusCoup.com/join. It's $5 a month, 16 cents a day. Keeps us being able to show you what it's really like out here.
Why are you guys just standing there? The Nazis are over there. Why are you guys just standing there? The bad guys are over there. What are you doing?
Honestly, I feel bad for them.
Yeah.
That report,
because like,
dude, go away. That reporter got tear gassed last week.
You actually need to like go to school and stuff.
I mean, I don't think they want to be doing that.
Protesters!
Well, like one of my good friends is a state trooper. He's always like, dude, I don't like those.
There's a line of police that are right up to the edge of the sidewalk here, making sure that protesters cannot enter the street in any way. These protesters have been threatened with arrest now multiple times by state police. These protesters are down here to protest ICE, and that's what they were attempting to do on a march through some of the city's main streets when Illinois State Police swooped in and corralled those protesters and then forced them back here to this area that is just down the street from the ICE facility here in Broadview, Illinois. They were here to protest the way that the Trump administration is separating people from their families, arresting them, disappearing them into this immigration system, spending all of this time and resources, that money that could be going to actually bettering Chicago's neighborhoods and the surrounding communities. So you hear that police are now starting to rearrange themselves.
What's going on, guys?
We're getting the riot, guys.
Don't get kettled! Don't get kettled! If you're in the middle, get out!
Police have lined up into several lines.
Line dance? You guys get ready for a line dance? Turn the music up. What do you guys want?
We are peaceful, and it's all how peaceful we are.
Cha-cha again.
Looks like they're leaving. Perhaps returning to some of the staging areas where they had been using here, further up Beach Street, closer to the ICE facility. Yeah, the protesters are doing the Imperial March from Star Wars, singing it at the police as they march away, trying to insinuate that they're stormtroopers. I talked to this guy here in the American flag who was being so boisterous. My guy.
Hey,
my name is JT. I'm a reporter.
Oh, okay.
With Status Coup.
Oh, yeah. Are you guys friends or whatever?
No,
Oh.
I mean we
know each other.
Oh, yeah.
no, we're not friends.
Yeah. Well, we're independent progressive outlet. Sean, nice to meet you. Would you mind if we did an interview with you about what just happened?
Sure, yeah.
Just kind of get your take on it.
Yeah. Do you mind if I talk about how I'm confused about?
That's exactly what I want to hear.
Pritzker's thing, like
that's
versus.
We've been making that point here on the broadcast. So, so Sean, was it?
Are we going?
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, Sean. Sean Mills. I'll just say it.
And how do you spell Sean?
SEAN.
Thank you very much. So, Sean, you were talking about how you're feeling confused in this moment.
Yes.
Why are you confused?
I mean, a lot of reasons, just humanity, but that's different metaphysical, existential things. But I'm largely confused because Governor Pritzker and then in the city, Mayor Johnson has explicitly said very brazen, bold words against Trump and the administration and Kristi Noem. They're not welcome here. We won't assist you. We stand with the people, et cetera, et cetera. But why are they not here? Broadview, as well as all the just raids that are so hard to track, the community's trying. It's community-led, and that's it. Like with these rapid response groups. Why isn't the governor here? Why isn't the mayor in the city showing up when they strolled the streets last Sunday? It's just so fucking confusing, pardon my French, that the state police is walking us down, as you, I'm sure, recorded. Why are they backing us down so brazenly instead of marching with us, or at least just letting us do our thing? Because we were just on a public property over there, just outside of this weird area. So I'm rambling a bit, but it's frustrating.
It comes across, though. It comes across, right? You're talking about the governor of your state, J.B. Pritzker, has said, we're not going to assist ICE, and then you see Governor Pritzker's police force, the police force that is ultimately answerable to him, actively corralling you back towards the ICE facility. We've seen in previous protests where ICE has tear-gassed people. They've set off flashbangs. They've arrested people, thrown them to the ground.
We've also personally. Sorry to interrupt you.
Walk me through that experience.
The real quick is not only that they're pushing us back to corral us into this free speech zone, which is insane terminology. They're assisting ICE vehicles in and out of the facility. So they're actively acting as like the gatekeepers of this facility. They're not just here. I would understand if they're just here to monitor the situation, keep maybe both parties somewhat neutral. That maybe is okay. But like they are actively aiding ICE, which is bizarre. Yeah. And then last Saturday, there was, if you want me to elaborate, I can. But
I mean, we were live out here for that as well. Yeah. We're focused on the here and now.
Yeah, sure.
So the you reference how that is it's kind of galling. It's perplexing. It's pick your adjective.
Yeah.
But do you feel like there are clear rules for you to follow out here? Like, do you feel like your voice is able to be heard when you're corralled into one of these free speech zones?
The rules are clear, but infuriatingly so. We need to stay in this playpen area on either side of the street, and like that's pretty much it.
A playpen. That's interesting. Yeah.
And another similar animal term, we're neutered on these sides like this to actively really protest our free speech, our First Amendment rights, because we're just sitting here on the sidelines and it's so passive. Before we were up towards the gate, people were able to be closer, yell and say things they want to say to ICE that are inside, and now we're just so far removed. It's a very awkward, almost feeling situation.
And not only are you removed, but what I'm struck by is the fact that now the protesters have to directly interface with Illinois State Police. Illinois State Police inserting themselves in between.
Yeah.
I mean, did you want to be out here protesting Illinois State Police?
No, that's what's a shame, because they're not masked. They're in a way doing, I guess, what they think's their job. It's confusing, muddied, whatever. We can argue that, but they're not masked. They're not fucking illegal. Sorry, I swore again. They're not.
You can swear. You can swear.
They're not doing necessarily anything overtly illegal like ICE is. It's just it's a complete shame, and it's a travesty to feel like we're hemmed in from ICE, who will indiscriminately shoot us with all sorts of chemical warfare, rubber bullets. They've pushed down elderly that I've witnessed personally. It's just they've stolen property from me and just threw it out with no question. And then we're hemmed in from behind. It's terrifying, and there's not enough of us out here, to be honest.
Do you feel like you're
to Broadview for a lot of
Do you feel like you're able to fully exercise your First Amendment rights given the rules down here?
No, not anymore. I think earlier, in a way, we were, until obviously they just started shooting us, because like last weekend, they lined up, opened the gate, stormed out, pushed people down.
You're talking about ICE officers here. Sorry, that's just context for people.
Police, thank you. Yeah. ICE started doing that. So they were infringing on our First Amendment rights because we were literally doing nothing. No one was throwing stuff. No one was violent. It was completely peaceful, just yelling expletives and other things and other good points. So that was that. This now, the corralling is also curtailing those free speech rights, but differently.
Yeah, trying to bring the attention back to the issue that you originally came out here to protest and not Illinois State Police and obfuscating the point there. I mean, Chicago is being occupied right now by the federal government, in effect.
Deplorably so.
Yeah, and we've just seen that today that Trump moving to federalize the National Guard, have them deployed here to the streets of Chicago in what is, if it's not an unprecedented move, there certainly can't be that many examples from history.
Yeah.
I mean, what's your reaction to that, to having actual troops on the ground here in the Chicagoland area?
It's interesting. I've been trying to figure out, again, like, why are the state police not necessarily either being neutral or facilitating our right to protest instead of actively going against it. Deploying the National Guard here is obviously completely illegal without without Governor Pritzker's knowledge, unless he's declaring some sort of martial law scenario, which is, again, absolutely insane. It's just deplorable. It's disgusting. These are unhinged maniacs that we're dealing with, and we're trying to use logic to answer those questions, and it's difficult. So.
Sean, is there any question I haven't asked you that I should have? Anything I haven't given you the opportunity to say that you would like to, or even any parting thoughts that you would like to leave our audience on?
We definitely need more people out here in Broadview. If you're not able to get here, join. If you're in the city, join your local Migra Watch rapid response groups, because I feel like they are being extremely effective. ICE yesterday at pickup time for schools, elementary schools, high schools, were circling around schools, terrorizing children, literal children. And a lot of the community came out, and that is like the shining light in this, is that so many people came out to walk kids safely home, walk them safely to the bus just at the sidewalk, off the sidewalk. And a lot of parents were scared. I visited several schools yesterday on the northwest side, and teachers came together, and that was beautiful. But why are we doing it ourselves? Why is just the community members doing it, not the governor? Why is he not here in the streets with us? Why is the mayor not in the streets with us in the city? Several alders were, I will say. The one that was Fuentes was arrested at the hospital. Maria Haddon's was out here yesterday. Others I might be forgetting, but those are leaders we need, not just talk.
I was just going to ask you for your parting message to Governor Pritzker.
Just be out here. Show your face. We need a leader. And if you're the leader you say you are, and you've spoken eloquently and brazenly against Trump, but what does that mean? Is that a political ploy for your presidential run that we know you're going to do in 2028? Or will you be a true leader and be out here with us? Because that's what a true leader is they're out here with us, telling off the people you're supposed to be in charge of, state police and other things. If I'm not wrong that they're in charge of state police. I don't know.
Sean, thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you for talking to us.
I hope I wasn't rambling too much.
No, you were
guys.
good.
It's okay.
So that was Sean walking us through his thoughts. In all of this. This is the scene in Broadview, Illinois. This community is under occupation by ICE, as is the entire Chicagoland area. Just down that way is the ICE facility. There is an illegal fence out there. You can see me right now. I between the last time I was on camera and this, I've added goggles, I've added a helmet. This is all because we weren't sure exactly how police were going to respond to these protesters. They arrested one man who led a peaceful march here out of these little designated, we just heard them called playpens, these little fenced-in concrete areas here outside of the ICE detention facility, these designated free speech zones. They led a march here down the street out into a major thoroughfare. Illinois State Police swooped in, pushed them all the way back, arrested the leader of that, knocking him to the ground. And just in case they were going to treat us the same way, we donned hard hats, put on goggles, just in case, because a lot of it, as these protesters have said, a lot of it feels like there isn't clear rules, especially when they're interacting with ICE. It's never clear when ICE is going to throw tear gas, shoot pepper balls at them, shoot rubber bullets. That there's not those clear rules. These protests here are really now taking on a new tone today in reaction to two new pieces of news. The first being that in Chicago proper, another person, a woman, was shot by federal agents while ICE were out on a patrol. That woman was found on the near 39th Street and taken to the hospital, where she is, as right now, being treated. The other piece of news that we have seen is that Governor Pritzker announced that Donald Trump had given him an ultimatum that either the state needed to call out 300 National Guard troops to support these ICE operations here. This is Operation Midway Blitz that ICE is undertaking right now. Either Governor Pritzker needed to do it, or Donald Trump was going to federalize the National Guard himself, which is what the president is doing. 300 troops now being added here in the streets of Chicago. And reporters are wearing helmets. It's unprecedented times here in America. It feels, I've heard the comparison, it feels like a war zone. It feels like a war zone. It feels like a war zone. And it's easy to see that comparison when the press, when people are being gassed, when people are being shot. That woman who I was just talking about, who had been shot by federal authorities, she is the second person now to have been shot since Operation Midway Blitz started. The first gentleman was killed. So that is the effect that ICE is having here in this community, and nearly to a person. Every single person we have talked to, nearly all of them, have said that they feel less safe with ICE in their communities, and now even less safe with the promise of the National Guard being deployed as well. So for a while here, police had actually corralled all of these protesters. You can see them just off to the side here. They're still in a line here, now donned riot gear, where they have blocked Lexington Street. They had also blocked this is an intersection here, they had blocked the other street that enters into this intersection. So these protesters were essentially corralled. They had nowhere that they could go. Police eventually recognized that fact and withdrew some of the troopers to be able to afford protesters some means of getting out of here. Otherwise, they were just being threatened with arrest and really nowhere to go except back in towards the ICE facility, where they have, as I've said, they've been tear gassed, they've been shot with pepper balls, they've been shot with rubber bullets, seemingly indiscriminately. These protesters for a while feeling confused, feeling like they had nowhere to go, and like that they were just being set up, you know, for maybe more confrontation with police. Now we see protesters here confronting these police as much as they feel comfortable being able to do so. Police have drawn a line in the sand here with that you have to be out of the street and within these designated protest areas that are fenced in with concrete barriers, that if you're not within those zones or if you're not trying to actually leave the area, then they will arrest you. So we've seen people here now just taking like one step off just to challenge that authority a little bit. Some people dancing here in the street. But it's been a peaceful protest so far. And that's what we've seen this entire week. It's these protesters who are being peaceful, And if you're hearing those loud boos, that's for a truck that just drove past. Anytime a vehicle makes its way here down Beach Street, protesters are yelling boo at the vehicle, just in case that it is an ICE vehicle or belonging to law enforcement, because they're starting to get, they're also starting to direct some of their, quite a bit of their ire now towards local and state police. All right. We're going to make our way here out of the area a little bit.
Hey, your flag's upside down when you do that.
Come over here.
That's all they're doing.
So we're going to start to draw this stream to a close now that we've seen quite a few of the protesters leave the area after being threatened with arrest from law enforcement, putting a real damper on the protests out here. There's a small group that are still standing down by the gate to the ICE facility here in Broadview, Illinois. But I do want to go back over some of the facts for those of you who haven't been able to be with us here this entire time. One of the things that we want to talk about here that we haven't really gotten the chance to touch on enough, it came up in just a couple of the interviews, but the way that Donald Trump is marshaling federal resources down here and really taking so much of the local control away from the state of Illinois and the community out here. You see a whole bunch of law enforcement vehicles moving through right now, drawing those boos from the crowd. I do want to take, so yes, we were just talking about how the federal government has been taking away quite a bit of the local control out here. This is the Party of States' Rights. Party of States' Rights says we have to federalize your National Guard. The Party of States' Rights is saying we have to come into your communities. Even though you say you don't want us, you say you won't help us, when we are going to come in and we are going to profile people, we're going to rip people off of the street, we're going to tear apart families, tear apart communities, we are going to make you feel less safe. Of course, that's not the line that they're giving. They're saying this is all about safety. But all of these people that we're out here talking about saying they feel much less safe as these operations have continued, and the threat of the National Guard now being nationalized and deployed here in the Chicagoland area, making them feel even less safe. I want to call out some of. Yep, I want to call out some of. Shout out some of our new Status Coup members. These are the people. If you haven't already, please support our on-the-ground reporting. This live stream is brought to you by our Status Coup members. We are not funded by any corporation. We're not taking any ad dollars. We are not in any way compromised. We are beholden to you, our viewers, because you are supporting us $5 at a time. $5 per month is all it takes to continue to fund us to be here on the ground. It costs a lot of money for us to travel here, for us to stay as long as we have. We're the only independent outlet that has been on the ground here for, it's got to have been about 10 days now, certainly like a week and a half that we have been. I'm being told we got one more interview. But just to finish this little pitch here, to bring you interviews from people on the ground here, to be able to bring you this sort of eye-level view, to show you what these protesters are actually like, show you how peaceful they're being, push back against the narrative that is being put out there by some of the most powerful people in the world. We rely on your support. So if you are please able to do so, I'm eternally grateful. John is eternally grateful. Jordan, Michelle, Colin, everybody on our team would thank you. So just to quickly read off the names of some of those supporters. Yeah, we'll do it after. We'll do it after this interview. So come on out here, man. So yeah, hi. What's your name?
Jack.
Jack, nice to meet you. I'm JT. What you wanted to talk to us? Was there something in particular you wanted to share? Otherwise, I've got plenty of things to ask you, my man.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have anything in particular to share.
I guess we'll start with just just initial thoughts off the top of your head. After police pushed everyone back here, effected one arrest, corralled people back here into this area, I mean, how are you feeling in this moment?
So, I'm a little bit discombobulated. I got here around 4 p.m. and I was almost immediately arrested. Yeah. So I came.
Let's change the subject a little bit. Let's change the subject a little bit. What led up to you being arrested for trying to come out here and peacefully demonstrate?
That's a great question. I'm still processing that a little bit. So I'm a medical professional. I kind of came thinking that I would help in some sort of medical capacity, and I was just kind of at the main area where people were assembling at the beginning of the protest, and the state troopers lined up, said everybody needed to move back. And
this is when the protest was actually up by the fence line?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, so just to give you, everybody at home, a little bit of sense of geography here, there are these protest zones that have been set up with concrete barriers. They are a ways removed down the block from an illegal fence that ICE has put up across the street here. The protests began a little bit earlier. We're congregating near that fence, and then troopers came in to move folks back. Then what happened?
Yeah, apparently I wasn't moving fast enough to the liking of one of the troopers. I kind of got grabbed and thrown behind the line away from the other protesters. I was immediately cuffed. We were put in the paddy wagon, and I went down to the Broadview Police Department.
You're saying apparently that I was not moving fast enough. Were you given a reason for why you were being grabbed in that moment?
I was not given a reason. Yeah, I mean, I was being told to move back, and, I was with the crowd, and we were all kind of moving at the same pace, but I got singled out.
You got singled out and taken to the Broadview Police Department, where, what happened then?
I was processed, I was put in a cell, I was probably there for a total of 3 hours, and I just got released a little bit ago.
Again, at any point during that process, did anybody tell you why you were being put in a cell, why you were singled out?
No, so I was detained for about 3 hours until they read me my Miranda rights, and then they offered me a citation, asked me if I wanted to speak with them. I said no. They said I was good to go.
Okay, and so I can see why you're feeling a little bit discombobulated after that experience. I'm curious, does it have any dampening effect on your desire to be out here protesting ICE and its presence here in the Chicago area?
I would say no. If anything, it kind of galvanizes that feeling more so that, this is something pretty serious. It's an infringement on all of our basic rights, and, kind of everyone has to take a stand against this.
Why was it important for you to be up at that fence line, having your voice heard there? We've got these designated free speech zones, as they like to be called, implying that there's no free speech, or at least less free speech in other areas. Why was it important for your voice to be heard there?
I couldn't tell you. I don't have a great answer to that question. It just felt like that's where I was needed.
Yeah. That's where the rest of the crowd was, I assume.
Yeah, that's where the rest of the crowd was. I didn't want to, hang back and linger. I wanted to be of the crowd, and I think when you're in a crowd like that, there's a feeling of strength and safety in numbers. It's harder for people to get, pushed and, brutalized. So I think you stick together. Everyone is safer together.
I'm seeing here that you've got a respirator, you've got goggles. It seems like you came prepared for today. What were you expecting before you got treated that way by authorities? Like, what were you prepared for to happen out here today?
So I didn't think we were going to be moved around. It was my understanding, based off of what I read from the previous protests, that we were kind of going to be allowed to sit in one area, and then eventually at some point we were going to get tear gassed. That's what my understanding of the day. That's what I thought was going to happen.
Okay. So, and I assume you were expecting then to get tear gassed by ICE if you were basing it on how previous demonstrations had gone out here?
Yeah.
Okay. So then to be treated this way by Illinois State Police, who aren't supposed to be helping ICE in any way, I mean, does that add to the, how much does that add to the feeling of discombobulation?
I've got some mixed feelings. Obviously, it kind of feels like a slap in the face when Governor Pritzker has been paying a lot of lip service to the protesters. But on the other side of the coin, I was released in a matter of hours. I have a basic citation. I'm not in a fucking black site right now, you know?
Right, which, yeah.
or not a black site, but, you know, not detained by federal agents with federal charges.
Right. As we've seen here from folks who have been out here and arrested by ICE. So you talk about it, you know, it doesn't dampen your resolve at all. I'm just curious, does it make you feel at all like do you feel like your free speech rights are in any way infringed by what happened here today?
I mean, they were for about 3 hours for the duration of time that I was detained.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What could Governor Pritzker do? Like you know, you're saying like you feel, and I forget if you said disappointed or what adjective you put on that. But what could he do in this moment now to actually make up for what has happened, to try and actually prove himself to be a bit more of a leader?
I think that's a great question. You know, I think as long as he's got state troopers out here, as long as we're using Illinois state resources to curb and dampen the protests, I think, you know, if there's truly a support of the protesters, there needs to be sort of a clear understanding that after these detainments, charges are going to be dropped, things like that. They can have governmental pardons for protesters who are protecting, you know, First Amendment rights, things like that. Yeah.
Is there any other question that
what do you think about the governor saying that state police were not going to cooperate with ICE?
The question there, just in case people couldn't hear it off camera, is what did you think, given that the governor had said that the state police were not going to cooperate with ICE, and we see them out here actually defending the facility, defending access to that facility?
Yeah. Like I said, it's very tricky. It feels a lot like cooperation. It looks like cooperation. On the other side of that coin, you know, I've seen the reports that I think the ICE officers are a lot less disciplined, unfortunately. So if this is a stopgap that, you know, sort of dampens the violence, that's a potential silver lining. But, I mean, it's disappointment. It's disappointment. I expected something stronger from the state level.
Thank you very much. Is there any other question that I should have asked that I haven't? Anything I haven't given you the opportunity to say that you would like to? Or really anything about your experience that I haven't gotten out of you that maybe I wouldn't necessarily know to ask about?
I can't say much. We need more people out here. Definitely there's a need for trained medical professionals who can help with the triage tents. We're having elderly people who are being thrown to the ground, and we need to, you know, have a way to care for the people that are coming out to protest. So,
one more question, because you referenced, I forget exactly what you said your profession was, but it was something in healthcare, correct?
I'm an ER doctor.
ER doctor. Yeah. Let's imagine for a moment that the federal government wasn't investing in any of this going on out here, and by that I mean the ICE raids and everything surrounding it. And they took that funding and they put it into your ER to be able to help people. How could it actually help people in your ER?
Oh, I don't know. You look at all this, all these barricades, all these personnel that are out here, probably being paid overtime, all these vehicles, the buildings. I mean, the figure is probably astronomical. There's a million, you know, common sense public health programs could be poured into, or just like basic facilities, hiring nurses, hiring techs, you know, a million and one better uses.
A million and one better uses for this funding in an emergency room alone. And that is the sentiment that we have heard expressed over and over and over again out here. And it's so apparent when you're standing out here, the excess. The way that we can afford to fund these dozens of state police, the dozens of local police, all of the federal authorities that are inside that building. They're having entire production teams out here follow them around with cameras to make propaganda for them. There's an illegal fence that they erected. There's the maintenance of the building. There is the expense of all of the vehicles that they see come and go. All of that funding could have gone to actually improving these communities, actually saving people in ERs, but that's not where it's being invested. Thank you so much for talking to us, and welcome back. Welcome back to the protest after your 3-hour intermission there. So welcome back. I'll let you get back to it. Thank you very much, man. Appreciate it. And thank you for setting that up, John. We appreciate that. All right. So we were sort of in the process here of drawing things to a close, but I do want to say one more time, you just heard from someone who was directly arrested for trying to express how they feel about ICE here taking over Chicago. This is a phenomenon that we've seen play out in other cities where the federal government has come in, taken over these communities in Chicago, in LA, in DC, in Portland, and it's going to continue. And if you want to be able to fund our journalism to make it happen, we're the only independent outlet that has been on the ground here for whatever it is, 10 days, a week and a half, and counting. Please, please, please become a member of Status Coup. Go to statuscoup.com/join. It is $5 a month. That helps us afford a hotel room, helps us afford some camera equipment, help us, be able to put food in our stomachs to be able to come out here and give you this on the ground look at what's happening, the kind of look that you're not getting from mainstream press. I'll point out there are no mainstream cameras. We've seen a couple of local TV cameras, but nobody from the national outlets that we have seen out here actually giving you this look. So if that is important to you, the best thing you can do in this moment would be to support us. And I want to thank everyone, our new Status Coup members. John loves for me to give the link even a second time, even though I already gave it, John. I did. But just for you, statuscoup.com/join. Thank you, John, for keeping me honest there. I do usually forget. I appreciate that. So just thanking our new Status Coup members here, Eric, Suzanne, Marcus, Kitty, Alfonso, Rebecca, Heidi, Jeff, and Madeline. Thank you all so much. It's because of you and people like you that I am able to stand here, interview these people, show you everything that is happening here, that Jordan is able to do this work, that John is able to do this work, Michelle, Colin, our whole team. Thank you all very much. So again, from Broadview, Illinois, I'm JT Siskowski with Status Coup, and signing off for the night. Thank you for being with us.